Hello everyone, it's Brian here, and it's time for the summer vinyl tag because I guess I have this feeling that summer is winding down. I'm not sure if that's true, but it is August already, I think. So, this is from Dylan at Noble Records, and when I watched this video, I decided I wouldn't take part, but I have watched some other people I know do the tag, and as I was watching, I kept thinking of things I would choose for the answers, so then I was pretty much compelled to do it. So here we go. I'll put a link to Dylan's video. There are 20 questions, and hopefully this won't take 45 minutes to do, but I'll do my best. So the first question is an album or song with summer in the name, fitting the summer vinyl tag. And I guess it's pretty obvious. If you live in Canada, the first thing that probably occurs to most people is Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams. But I decided to leave that aside and go with my second thought, and that is a track from the Stranglers record called Feline. 1982, I think it's their seventh record. The second track is Midnight Summer Dream, which follows Golden Brown, which is a fantastic track. This is a really good record, by the way. I love the album cover. Let's Tango in Paris is on here. All Roads Lead to Rome. Oh, actually, the last track I just realized or remembered, Oral Sculpture. That is the title of their subsequent record. Anyway, that's a really good track. And because it was next on the shelf to that, I pulled out Midnight Summer Dream, the 12-inch single for that track. Pretty cool, right? Number 2, latest heavy pull. I guess you could interpret that as meaning, maybe a grail, maybe something you had to pay more than you wanted for it, something like that. And so if you have seen my video about records I found in Italy, I mentioned the record I'm going to talk about now. It's something I've been looking for since Record Store Day this year, and unfortunately I couldn't find it. I know one store definitely had it because they get everything for Record Store Day, but it was gone by the time I got there, and the other stores I went to didn't have it. So I was kind of disconsolate about that. I was like, oh my God, I'll never find this. But I was in Rome, and I was it Rome or Florence now? I can't remember. I think it was in Rome. And I was flipping through the bins, and I happened to look up, and right in front of me on the wall was this record from Peter Murphy, formerly of Bauhaus, called Peter Live Volume 1 Covers. And this is a really interesting collection of cover versions. It covers Iggy Pop, Joy Division, Pere Ubu, Bowie, Prince, Magazine, Elvis Presley, and Nine Inch Nails. As I say, something I've been looking for and didn't think I'd ever find, and there it was. And I'm calling this a heavy pull because yeah, I did pay more than I would have paid had I found it locally. So that's a bit of a drag, but I kind of had to buy it. Whack-A-Mole album, number 3. This is the sort of Mazzy style thing where you reach back and grab a record, and then you say something about the record. And if you can't think of anything to say about the record, you say something else that might tie in. This one's sticking out here. Let me grab this one. All right. This is the Pogues, If I Should Fall from Grace with God. I think this is their third full length, and it's from 1988. And I love this record. It's actually a good one to pull out. I mean, it starts with If I Should Fall from Grace with God, excellent opening track. Turkish Song of the Damned, excellent. Bottle of Smoke. It goes on. And Fairy Tale of New York is on here, which is a well-known track. This is really great. I'm remembering, though, that when my first copy of this record was the compact disc, and I bought it because a radio station that I listened to around here played the track called South Australia over and over again. And I bought it because I really liked that track. And then I realized it's not even the best song on the record. And then when I bought the vinyl, I realized that track isn't on here. I guess there's not enough space for it to fit. Anyway, produced by Steve Lillywhite. Really cool. Anyway, actually, really good record. An album cover with an animal on it. And there's a lot of album covers with animals, drawings, or photographs. But I picked something that I think we can all aspire to, and that is to be super cool. And I don't think anyone has looked as cool on an album cover as LL Cool J on Walking with a Panther, because there he is with this Black Panther with this heavy gold chain around its neck. We've got the mystery of this briefcase with the handcuffs. Is he some sort of secret agent? Is this his security detail? And if you think that's cool, you flip it over and it's like Party Zone, because he now has 3 women with multiple bottles of champagne and this panther. So that's looks like quite the party is about to happen. Anyway, this is from 1989. Man, this is a pretty fun record. So That is cool. Ladies love cool James. An album with a great story. And again, I guess that could be something you found cheaply that was a great deal or something like that. But I picked something a little different. And that is this record from Leonard Cohen, The Best of Leonard Cohen from 1975, Canadian icon. And I'm going to talk about the first copy of this record I ever owned, because this is a later one I picked up, but my first copy of this record was almost completely destroyed. It had tape on all three sides. Otherwise, the front cover and the back cover would have been separated. So it was taped with transparent tape, scotch tape. There was even electrical tape on it. It had call letters from a radio station on it. It had stickers, I guess for, I don't know, maybe it indicated when you play it or whatever. Had writing on it. The inner sleeve was completely, I don't even think there was an inner sleeve. The record itself was scratched and scuffed and marked up. There was writing on the label. I mean, it was in the worst possible shape. But I bought it at some sort of sale, and I paid $1 for it. And but I was immediately captivated. I hadn't heard, I had heard Leonard Cohen songs, and this was a long time ago when I bought this. I had heard Leonard Cohen songs, but I wasn't terribly familiar with it. So I played this album frequently. I mean, it was like a daily play for months and months at a time. Now, the funny thing is, it wasn't really the kind of music I listened to at the time. So my dad worked various shifts, and he came in. He used to come around midnight sometimes, and sometimes he'd come up to my room just to see what I was doing. I was usually doing whatever I was doing anyway. And this record would often be playing, and I just remember the look on his face because I don't think he quite knew what to make of it. It wasn't the kind of music I normally listen to. I wish I had asked him what he was thinking when he heard this record playing, because it just seemed maybe too calm for him. After all, this has a lot of classic marquee Leonard Cohen songs like Suzanne, Sisters of Mercy, So Long Marianne, Bird on the Wire, Famous Blue Raincoat, Chelsea Hotel. Maybe he heard the first line of Chelsea Hotel. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a fun story. This really interesting memory of my dad wondering what I was listening to. An album we would be surprised to see in your collection, and I'm going to guess that most people would be surprised to see a Michael Jackson record in my collection. This is Off the Wall from 1979. I am by no means a Michael Jackson fan. I've possibly played this a couple of times, but let me just tell you this. I was once in a thrift shop and saw a beautifully perfect mint copy of Thriller, and I didn't buy it. I left it there for someone else because I cannot stand the song Thriller. I really don't like his music. Maybe sacrilege. Jackson 5 is a different story for me, but later I saw this in a thrift shop and I decided to get it. It's $2. And, I guess at some level I probably regret not buying Thriller. But I guess the big thing about this record is produced by Quincy Jones, and I think he does a pretty good job. It starts with, I don't even know, I can't even recall all the songs, but Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is like a disco song, if you ask me. Rock With You, I never really liked. And then the rest of the songs, I don't really know if I can really remember them, but I've kept it, I've hung on to it. And, maybe someday I'll listen to it again, but not something that's usually, I usually listen to. Cheap Heat. So whenever I hear that, I immediately think of two records, and this is one of them. This is Haircut 100's Pelican West. And for me, I chose this because this is a summer vinyl tag, and this for me is the quintessential summer record. Always has been since the first day I heard it. This came out in 82, and it's just filled with wall-to-wall classics. I mean, you might know Love Plus One. That would be the big track from here, but the other songs are equally good. We've got Favorite Shirt. When I listen to this record, I think of the beach. I think of hanging out by a pool. I've never done that. I've never listened to this on the beach or near a pool, but it always makes me think of that. And Fantastic Day, Snow Girl, Love's Got Me in Triangles. It ends with Calling Captain Autumn, which I think is maybe the transition point. This is the transitional record to autumn. It looks like autumn on the cover, but it's the first record I think of playing when summer rolls around. We get that first nice warm weather. I think of this. You can find this locally here for under $10, sometimes $7-8. I think it's worth getting. They did a second record that after Nick Hayward left, which wasn't as good, and I think they're touring now though. Okay, a 45 or alternate format. Now, about a year ago, I did 2 videos where I showed almost all of my 7-inch singles. So I thought I'd pick something other than a 7-inch single. So an alternate format here, I chose a 10-inch record. This is from Rush, called The Body Electric. There's the hype sticker, limited edition red vinyl. I don't know how many of these were made, it doesn't say. But it has The Body Electric from Grace Under Pressure. Side 2 has The Analog Kid from Signals, and Distant Early Warning from Grace Under Pressure. And in fact, it is indeed on red vinyl. I don't think this is particularly valuable. It might be hard to find. But again, I've never seen another copy of this, so who knows if it's hard to find. Kind of a funny image on the front. So Rush. I might be getting a cold, who knows. Favorite music documentary or biopic. I do have some DVDs that are biopics, but I picked something that I don't have a DVD for, and that is this CD, which goes with the film 24-Hour Party People. And this, I guess, is a soundtrack, although it only has some of the tracks that were used in the film. But it covers the Manchester scene with respect to factory records from 1976 to 1992. So all those bands I really love. So you have the Sex Pistols, Happy Mondays, which, that's their song, 24-Hour Party People. Joy Division, Buzzcocks, The Clash, New Order, Duty Column, goes on, 808 State, etc. Really fine collection of tracks. And this CD has a long essay about it and some photographs. So a really great movie that I quite like, because it covers a period of music and a period of time and a place that is really a favorite of mine. So that's a cool movie if you haven't seen it. A box set. So for this one, I picked out this Ramones box. The Sire albums 1981 to 1989, Record Store Day 2022. They made 14,000 of these. Mine is 12,117. Comes with this stickers. I had many, the majority of these already on original pressings, but the price was amazing. So I decided to get it. It has Pleasant Dreams, Subterranean Jungle, Too Tough to Die, Animal Boy, Halfway to Sanity, Brain Drain, and still more stuff. Rarities 1981 to 1989. This is all on black vinyl except for the bonus record here. So this one is on this interesting looking piece of vinyl. So that is cool. That's the box set I picked for today. And most trash record in your collection. To be honest, I think I gave away the most trash record a little while ago to a friend of mine. And it was a Billie Holiday record, which was pretty much destroyed. The top seam was open. There was no inner sleeve. It was in rough shape. But this one might be a close second. And this is David Lindley and El Rey OX win this record. You might already tell that it is severely water damaged. I do think, though, that the vinyl itself has what appear to be some watermarks, but it's okay. There's a few scuffs, but I think it would play okay. I don't even have this included in my Discogs inventory because I'm not sure I'm going to keep it. I've had it for quite a while, and I just think I don't like water damaged records. I probably should replace it or get rid of it, but it does play, but the cover is really awful. All right, a local album, which I am going to say is from Toronto, because if I think of where I'm from, there's no bands at all. So this is a musical duo that goes by the name of Lullaby Orchestra. Not orchestra, but orchestra. I don't know if you can see that. And this is an album called Amp Grave. They're a duo from Toronto. The guy, Justin Small, I should remember that. Justin Small is from Do Make Say Think, and Katya Taylor is on bass and vocals. He's on drums and vocals. And they have some guest musicians. So there's the name of the band, so you can see it. Lullaby Orchestra. And the album's called Amp Grave. And there we go. From Toronto. And they're on the Constellation record label, which is probably my favorite Canadian record label. Anyway, that's really cool. I recommend it. Let's see. An album from a faraway land. So I did some research and discovered that the city that is most distant from Toronto is actually Perth, Australia. And as it happens, I have a record from a band from Perth, Australia, and that band is called The Scientists. And this is their record called Negativity. The date on here is 2020. Weirdly, their first record since 1987, which I think is a little odd, but I guess they reformed for this record, and it's actually really good. I quite enjoy it. Weirdly, a record store I go to in Toronto sometimes they have a sale bin at the front, and I found this in there for half price. So instead of, I don't know if it was half price, but it was like $12, so I kind of had to buy it. And it's a pretty good record. Now, just to give some more context here, there is a song called The Science of Suave. It's a little known fact that was actually written for Ben Rankins. So have a listen to that song and give a thought to Ben. All right. A soundtrack. I had quite a few to choose from, but I decided to go with this one called Less Than Zero from 1987. Weirdly, it doesn't say anything on the cover that it's a soundtrack or where it's from. It's a top loader. Comes with this insert, Def Jam Records, and it's a really weird, if you don't know this record, it's very strange because it has Aerosmith and then Roy Orbison, then Poison, and then LL Cool J, who's come up twice in this video, Going Back to Cali, which is a great video if you don't know that one. We got Glenn Danzig, we got Slayer, Public Enemy, Black Flames, and we got Joan Jett and Orange Juice Jones and the Bangles. A really weird collection. I'm trying to remember if I've seen the movie, though. I can't remember. I have read the book, which is a little strange. But anyway, that's the soundtrack. Possibly hard to find now. Not sure. Now, your highest recommendation. And I was deciding between a certain Canadian singer-songwriter who I may have already mentioned in this video or my favorite band. And I decided, in this case, to go with my band. And for me, there can be no greater band than the Smiths. And this is The Queen is Dead from 1986. I would say this may well be my favorite record of all time. I'd have to think about that, but it's certainly in the top 5. I think this is phenomenal. I've loved it since the day I got it. This is my original Canadian pressing of that record. Fantastic. I mean, this is such a great record. Let's see, the inner sleeve is in here. Fantastic. So that would be my recommendation. I know some people have quibbles with Morrissey these days, but the Smiths, in my opinion, did no wrong, really. Let's see. That was highest recommendation. Highest on your want list. So that's a tough one because there are a lot of records I want, but one record I missed out on that I really regret is from the Stranglers. They had a record called Giants, plural, which came out in 2012. And, I'm on their list where I should get messages about new releases, but for some reason I didn't get it or didn't notice it. And they released that on vinyl, but in an edition of 500 copies. So if you go on Discogs now and look for the vinyl, it's just outrageous. You have to mortgage your house to get it. So I regret not getting that, and I don't even have the CD of it. So that's on my want list. A channel shout out, question number 17. These always cause me to have a pause because there's so many channels I would shout out. But here's one that you may not know about. This gentleman's name is Randall Nelson. Now, I've been watching his videos, I think, pretty early on from the first time I joined YouTube, joined the vinyl community, if you can join it. And he is such a genuinely nice guy. There are certain people you meet and you know that you would like to meet them, or certain people you encounter in the vinyl community and some immediately, this is someone I'd like to know or to meet, and he's one of those people. He's doing this really interesting series right now where he's talking about his favorite song, album, movie, and TV show from each year, starting in 1950. And he has got an amazing collection of not only records, but movies and box sets of TV shows. Amazing. Shows I've never heard of before. Really fantastic. He has very deep knowledge of movies, really good collection of music. Very fun channel. I would recommend you. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to tell you, go. I'll put a link below, of course, but check out Randall's channel. Please subscribe to him. He's a really nice guy. I really enjoy his stuff. A silver lining in vinyl. Now, I guess this refers to the fact that there has been some drama or political issues or whatever, and I've never been a part of that. I don't know much about it. I have seen videos of people saying, "Why I'm leaving the VC" or things like that. I don't know any of those people. I've never had that experience. I've never really, in the people I watch or who watch me, I've never seen that. So, but I will say that for me, the silver lining in the vinyl community has to be the sort of connections we make with people. Like, I never expected to get to know people or to communicate with people. I do communicate with several people outside of YouTube, and that surprises me. I have met, now I counted it up, I've met 17 other people who make videos, which I find astonishing. Now, I met a good chunk of those when I went to Boston, but I've met other people locally and also from Australia. So, yeah, I find that really amazing. I never expected that. I thought I would just make videos, comment, and people would comment on mine, and that would be the end of it. But the fact that people reach out and they want to meet you, or they want to, they're going to be in town, or they're throwing a party, that surprised me. So I think that's probably the best thing about the vinyl community. Next question is a steal of a deal. The Beatles, Let It Be Naked. I'm not a huge Beatles fan. Apart from this piece of vinyl, I have 2 other Beatles records, and they're both comps. I do have CDs, not all of them though, so believe it or not, there are some Beatles songs I've never heard. I've never even heard the first 2 or 3 Beatles records in their entirety, I'm sure of it. However, I was walking downtown Toronto maybe 8 or 10 years ago, and I was in HMV, which no longer exists in Canada. Well, I shouldn't say that. They have opened up little things in Toys R Us, so they don't really exist. But this record from 2003, I looked up on the wall, and there were 6 or 7 copies of this, and they all had a price tag on them of $12.99 Canadian. And I said, well, I don't really know what this is all about, but I thought for $12.99 I'm going to buy it, so I bought one. Now my big regret is that I didn't buy the entire stack. I should have. Who knew? I mean, you look it up on Discogs, it's worth more than that now. So, yeah, I've only listened to it a couple times. Believe it or not, it's pretty much minty, but that was probably the best deal ever. Finally, a promo. I have lots of promos. I don't have any white label promos, but I have a lot of gold stamp promos, and this is one of them. Jesus and Mary Chain, Barbed Wire Kisses, B-Sides, and more. And you can see the stamp right there, which the record company I guess they could reclaim this from me at any point. But this is a good collection of, B-sides and stuff from, I should have looked at the date here. I don't know when this came out. Who knows? 85. This is an American pressing, so that's a really cool thing to have. So there we go. That's my summer vinyl tag. So feel free to do this tag if you want. And again, I encourage you to check out Randall Nelson's channel. I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.